Once upon a time, Chris called Dan and said, "I'm having an idea." When Dan got over his initial shock and horror, he agreed to hear Chris out. Suddenly, a podcast was born, and somehow I was suckered into recording the intro to give them a little bit of legitimacy. And so, here we are. Welcome to the Dan and Chris Save the World podcast.
The Dan and Chris podcast has been fortified with 6 essential vitamins and minerals. Please use only as directed.
Be careful operating heavy machinery while listening to this podcast. If you are pregnant or may become pregnant, please consult a physician before listening to this podcast.
No animals were harmed in the creation of this podcast. For best results, open your mind and smile while listening. Continued use of this podcast has been known to cause hilarity in certain individuals.
Proceed at your own risk.
Hit record.
Exactly.
Now.
We should just hit record and then start talking about whatever.
Because we never know what we're going to talk about, so,
Mickey!
I don't know why I'm putting him in front of the camera, but there's a Mickey in front of the camera. So.
There's a Mickey in front of the camera.
You got Mickey'd.
You know what's funny? A lot of things, not me. You said, hey, you want to record tonight? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. So for the past, half an hour, 45 minutes since we agreed to get together to record tonight, I've been thinking of all these things that I wanted to talk about, right? And then I'm like, I can't say anything about them. I just want to save them for the recording. like when we walked in, we started shooting the shit and just being like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, okay, let's just hit record. We don't want to miss anything. Just hit record.
That's what this is about. It's just us talking and, whatever comes out, comes out. So
I've got some air fried pizza pockets and a beer. I'm ready to go, man.
Ooh, I got a bottle of water.
That works. I got my Sam Adams cherry wheat.
I got my Wegman spring water.
I got a whole, almost full pallet of that down in the kitchen, so I'm going to push that after I'm done with the beer.
There you go. And that was the sound of both of us drinking.
We synchronized that just for your own entertainment value.
You've heard about synchronized swimming, synchronized drinking. Go figure. Special talent we both have. Oh,
yes. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
You seemed pretty kind of like just whooped the other night when we were
I have been whooped for a while. I mean, especially since
I wonder.
Since getting back from Florida, especially. I don't know. I mean, I was
really
kind of a little beat down there, but just getting back has just been worse. And maybe because I slept in a little bit more down there or something. I don't know. But, the whole year and a half lately, last year and a half has not been fun. But, I've just been tired this past week. But, recovery from surgery wise, it's going okay. There's still off and on days. It's been more on days than off. So it's been fairly good, but I do have to take pills on a normal basis. And my last day down in Florida, I didn't really take my pills. And that night it let me know.
Oh, wow.
So I got to visit a lot of the bathrooms at Disney Springs, so it was kind of neat.
Oh, dear.
But, that's all part of the process. And, if I take them, I'm usually okay. So it's just fiber and Imodium, so it's just more, I need more fiber in my diet apparently. So,
okay.
And I need Imodium to help me be regular. So, yay me. So how you been?
I'm doing okay. It has been really tough at work lately.
Yeah.
I know I've lamented about that in the past, but it has not improved at all. And we were improving. We went to 4 of the 7 inspector slots in the Northwest Quadrant are operational again. And, people are working and, our new person, who's been on since early in the summer, she's really, she's a sharp cookie. So she's really taken to the job very quickly. But then somebody who's had issues, medically speaking, on and off, will be departing again in a week or so for another medical leave and more surgery and whatnot. And they'll be gone till February.
Oh, wow.
So we're back down to 3 already.
Jeez.
And now we have a new person who just started up and is going to be taking one of the areas in the Northwest, but he's just at the beginning of training. He won't be ready to go out into the field until January, February. Right.
Right. So, yeah.
So I have just,
a lot of
slack
to pick up. Yeah.
I've been getting whooped. My colleagues who are still on the line with me, we are getting whooped. And our boss is being amazing. My boss is really good about watching our backs and and helping us out and making sure that, if we're getting overwhelmed, then he tries to lighten the load elsewhere, so that we're not just getting crushed, but, we're getting crushed nonetheless.
Right.
We're the only guys out there, and each of us have our own specialty, and so there are times where I get called to handle like a lot of customer service stuff. If there needs to be a soft touch, or diplomacy, they call Chris. If they need something a little bit more, not so much code wise because we're all good at it, but if you need something a little more hands on, then you go to Mark or Mike, because those guys are, more engineer mechanically inclined than I am,
Right.
But it's like, oh, ouch. And then even the police officers and the crime prevention officers are even calling me, asking me for things. It's like, God, I love you guys, but no.
But it's good that you work together and everything, so yeah. It's all part of the fun. Yeah, work has been, I've had pretty much nonstop meetings since I got back. I had over like 1,000 emails in my inbox.
Jesus.
Literally. And, then besides that, pretty much solid meetings. I think tomorrow I have a few hours without any meetings scheduled, so maybe I can do some actual work. I'm supposed to do actual work besides meetings, apparently.
It's like that line from Office with the Office Space when the guy's having the meeting with the Bobs. He goes, in any given week, I do actually 15 minutes of real actual work.
Yeah, I squeeze in a bunch of stuff between whatever. I don't know how. When people ask me, how do you get any work done? I have no idea, but it's, you do what you got to do. So, and my boss is going out on medical for a few weeks because he's got to get a surgery done. So, but it's one of those surgeries where you have to get it done sooner than later, because if you try to do it later, then it just won't work as well. So,
okay.
But so he's getting it done tomorrow. So, but he's going to be out for a few weeks after that. Well,
good luck to him. I hope that goes smoothly.
So lots of more stuff added on. So there's a few of us that are more the higher level of the group that can pick up a lot of the slack, but we still have to spread it out amongst us. So it's more stuff each of us have to pick up and everything. So, but just add to the fun around Christmas time here. A nice Christmas present. It's a Christmas miracle.
It's a Christmas miracle. Oh, isn't that lovely, sir?
But yeah, so. But other than that, I'm going camping with the boys this weekend.
Oh, your favorite thing these days.
Except it's in a heated cabin and I get a cot.
Well, then there you go. Now you're off and running.
That's probably one of the main reasons why I jumped. I said, yes, I'll do it without much thing, because
you're not built for camping anymore.
Especially not winter camping. I don't know. I don't relish the idea of winter camping, and I suppose I might have to do it sometime with the boys there, but I don't relish that. So having a cabin is nice. So actually bringing both boys, Zach and Josh.
Oh boy! Even
though Josh isn't still a Cub Scout, but when he said, "Yeah, come on, bring him. He can come." So I said, "Okay," and Josh said, "Okay." So
I did it. I pulled the trigger. I think I told you about it. I am going on my first vacation in a quarter of a century this spring.
Yes, and by yourself.
I'm taking the dog with me.
Well, your dog. Well, yeah, but the only human. But yes, so, which is good because you just need time to be by yourself and just do whatever.
I bought I bought myself my very first laptop.
Ooh.
There's been laptops in the house in the past, right? Other people have had them, or I've had my laptop for work. This one is mine, right? And it's a nice little thing. It's an AMD. It's what do we got here? An AMD Ryzen 5000 series with a Radeon graphics card.
Okay. Is that a 17-inch, 15-inch?
15.
15? Yeah.
I'm not planning on gaming with it all that much. I might log into Discord and chat with people from time to time, but this is basically going to be my portal of sorts, for catching up with emails and I'm setting aside a time while I'm on vacation. I'm going to write.
I was going to say you should. So I was waiting to see if you're going to bring that up.
All of my files, how I have that little flash drive chip that I carry with me all the time?
Yep.
All those files are on the laptop now, and I'm going to erase the chip.
Awesome.
So everything is here actively on the laptop, and then I've got my portable hard drive for backups and stuff like that. So I will never. You
should have a cloud drive there.
You know what? I don't trust the cloud, and that sounds It sounds. I feel like I'm that guy. Like you stupid kids, get off my lawn. I feel like the ancient one who's just not with the times kind of thing. Like I need my grandson to come over and set my VCR up for me. Shit like that, right? Like how do I program a digital watch? Things like that. But there's something about cloud that I just can't get behind.
Which is kind of funny.
It is, isn't it?
You think of all the time you spend gaming and things in the cloud, you know, and all this stuff's happening in the cloud. But
I don't save anything important on the cloud.
Yeah, see, I have everything in the cloud, and sometimes in multiple clouds, just because again I don't want to lose anything, but I also want instant access to it.
I've seen so many people with horror stories about their clouds being hacked, and then all of their stuff is just now suddenly public.
Well, I'm not a celebrity.
Well, there's that. We're becoming minor celebrities. It's been weird.
Very minor.
Yeah, but small. Local, sure.
Yeah.
But when people are recognizing us out and about, just going to the movies and walking, restaurants and shit like that, it's just kind of weird. I don't think I was really ready for that, even though I'm kind of cool with it.
See, I don't go out much, so I guess I don't get recognized. But but yeah, I mean that's good. That shows that we're doing something right.
Yes, people like us, and the people who don't like us are funny. It's like that kid who
just ignore him.
It's like after Ghostbusters, that kid who recognized us in the audience of Ghostbusters and completely misheard everything we were talking about, and then tried blowing me up online the next day. It's like, dude, what conversation were you listening to? It's like, holy crap.
I still haven't seen Ghostbusters yet. I have to see that.
Oh, you gotta. Oh my God. Here's my non-spoiler review. It was worth it. I want to go see it again.
I have not heard anyone say anything bad about it.
You know what's interesting is how the media has panned the shit out of it. I mean, seriously, a lot of the reviews I've seen were, oh, it fails here, it falls flat. Oh, it's too much this, it's too much that. Oh, this is not right. Oh, the fans probably didn't like this. I've been listening to
the fans. I've been listening to the fans, and I've been hearing a different story. So
yeah.
So I remember
see it. I remember replying to one guy's review, and I'm like, "You and I obviously did not see the same movie." I was like,
the 2016 movie? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have my thoughts about the 2016 movie. I like the ladies who were in the cast of that, but I just didn't like that movie.
They did the wrong thing with it.
I think they went the wrong direction with it, and it really. I mean, I get the whole female empowerment thing, right? I'm all about it. It's good by me, but it got to the point where it was like it went from female empowerment to bash men, and I'm like, really? Is that where we want to go with this? I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We deserve it, sure. I mean, the male gender has really fucked things up over the years.
But that's not what Ghostbusters is. That's not what Ghostbusters is.
Thank you.
About.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the platform for that kind of. I mean, sure, take me to an Alanis Morissette concert, and then we'll go for there. It's it was just. Yeah. Anyways. It was a bit much. It was really a bit much. But anyway, but Ghostbusters Afterlife was fantastic. If you want to go, let me know. I'll go with you because I would love to see it again. If we go separately, however, make sure that you stay all the way through the credits because they do a Marvel, right, where they have two credit scenes. One's in the middle and one's at the very end. So you got to stay all the way through to the end. And the one at the end is beautiful. It's beautiful. So
still in the theater, and in a couple of weeks maybe I'll see it the weekend after this one.
Okay.
If I'm nothing else going on, I don't know.
Let me know if I'm available. I will be happy to go with you.
Definitely not this weekend.
I was very thrilled with that movie.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it because I mean I have an Ecto on my desk here with my little Lego Ecto on my desk with a Ghostbusters in front of it. So
is that the footlong one?
No, it's the first one, the small one.
Oh, okay.
Not the big.
Not the chunky chunk.
Yeah, the big one, which
All right.
It will be mine. Oh yes.
It will be mine.
Oh geez. So what else is going on in life here? Let's see. I don't know. January comes around. We're going to start planning another convention.
Yep. Go full tilt boogie on 2022. I had a great idea for a possible guest, and I looked up some information about this person to find that their public speaking fee started at about $20,000. I'm like, oh, maybe next year.
It might be slightly over.
That might be a little bit much for us yet. But this person would be a huge draw.
Yeah.
And this person that I'm thinking about is still young yet, right? So as we power up, the likelihood that this person will still be topical, and a good draw will definitely be still. I think they've got a lot of.
Tell me this. Tell me who it is off the podcast.
I will. You know what I'm going to do, because we have technology. I'm going to text you right now.
Ooh. It's almost like sitting when we're living in the same place, and we lived in the same townhouse, and we're sitting in the same basement, and we IMing each other.
I remember when you did that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So Chris and I lived together for a while, and we had a townhouse, and we set up the basement to be our computer gaming room there, and we're sitting back to back, and we're IMing each other. Because that's what you do.
I don't know what was funnier, the fact that you did it or the fact that I kept replying.
I don't know if I know that name.
If you Google that name, you as soon as you see that person's face, you'll be like, oh.
Okay, let me give it an O here. Let me see.
You have to giggle. You have to giggle. I mean, Google. One of those things.
Oh, wait, where do I know that person from? What?
Various commercials, and they've also done several independent sci-fi series online.
Oh,
and they've been in a couple of other.
Yes. Okay. I looked at it. That would be an interesting person.
I thought so. Different, right?
Yes. Well, someone. Well, I mean, we can always look and. I mean, yeah.
We'll keep it on the list.
Yeah, and we can explore that option. We can at least put some queries in there, anyways, to see if there's any flexibility in that or anything or anything.
Yeah.
You can always ask. So, anyways, that's an interesting get there. But
I see. Looking for new and different. I finished the Beatles Get Back on Disney Plus, the 3-part series that Peter Jackson put together. I thought it was amazing. It was so interesting to see.
I threw about 2/3 of the first one because I just haven't had time to go further.
It's just phenomenal. It's just absolutely beautiful what the story that was put together there. So you get to see this, and you see the tension, and you see the heartache, and you see the the tensions back and forth. But there's also a lot of the fun and the joy and the creative. The creative freedoms that they had, and they just went off, and these people are milling around them like they were gods walking on earth, and it was true at that time. They really were.
I mean, it's bizarre watching that piece of history unfold and everything.
The moment that most people are talking about is the one early in the first episode where Paul's just jamming away on his guitar, and suddenly "Get Back" is born. The song, you can hear him hitting the riff, and he's kind of like pauses, and he's going after it again, and now he's trying some different lyric notes, and he's trying to get some the vocal melodies out, and he's trying to sing. And at one point they cut to George Harrison, and he's yawning like, yeah, there goes Paul, he's doing it again. But then he jumps in, and then Ringo starts kind of beating out a rhythm, and then the three of them are into it, and then Lennon just walks in because he was late to that rehearsal. Lennon walks in, he's listening, he sits down at his guitar, you can see his fingers on the neck of the guitar, he's like figuring out where they are in terms of chords and whatnot, and then he just joins right in. He didn't even ask. There was no talking. There was no discussion between the four. Boom! He just dives right in, and Get Back just starts to create and evolve. And it's like, holy crap! I'm watching this all happen. It was amazing. Like I said this at dinner the other night when the six of us were chatting away. So, which we need to do more often. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were only together for 8 years. The Beatles. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy?
It is amazing, and it was over before we began.
Yeah, I mean,
technically
62 to 70, early 70.
And technically their contract ran out in 73, so we can say that we were alive at the same time as the Beatles still, but they had already finished creating by the time you and I were born.
That's crazy. I mean, you kind of in my head it's been long. It was longer than that, but they were like because you hear about them so much, and it seems like there's so much history there, but it was only. I mean, in the big scheme of things, that wasn't a long time. I mean, artists
not really.
Artists today have been together for, I mean, look at bands have been together forever, Aerosmith, or,
a lot of the 90s bands are still doing, I mean,
right,
Jam is still going strong after 30 years. Collective Soul is still touring. There's
a lot of these old time bands are still, from our age and are still doing stuff together. And it's, and Beatles were only 8 years and they made such a huge impact.
The timing was right for them too, because that canvas was just bare. Mm-hmm. Rock and roll was rock and roll was being created when they were born, when that
Yeah.
band, and so that the canvas of rock and roll was empty. You had these huge names like Elvis, and Ricky Valley and all, and what was the oh my God, what was the Buddy Holly? I couldn't think of the guy's name. And
Yeah.
Richie Valens and Big Bopper. You had all those guys
Mm-hmm.
that were painting the foundations of what rock and roll would become. But then the Beatles came in and bam, and their innovation and their ability to bounce off each other, and you had all these creative personalities,
Mm-hmm.
and the fun and the energy and the sarcasm is just they were all very cheeky buggers,
And they were British.
and they were British.
Yeah. So Elvis was 53 to 77.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just it just boggles me. It's only 8 years really for the Beatles, and the last couple of years, last years of that was they did a lot of studio stuff. They weren't out.
Yeah.
And
Their final live performance was on the roof of their studio for the Let It Be,
mm-hmm.
Record, and then they were able to put in Abbey Road like 3 or 4 months later. They wrote Abbey Road.
Yeah, it's just to throw out another album.
Holy crap, another legendary album, and then they were done. After, that was it. That was their swan song. Was Abbey Road, which was amazing. To think that.
Yeah.
I was watching a documentary about them afterwards. Another one, a different one that had come out a few years ago.
A documentary?
Yes. Well, there's so much material on these guys. It's amazing. But in 1965, they had 25 chart-topping hits.
Wow.
Not all of them went to number one, but they were all up there.
Yeah.
They hit it 25 times in 1965 alone. That is like 2 or 3 career. Like Duran Duran doesn't even have 25 hits across their career, and Duran Duran is one of the biggest bands of the 1980s.
Mm-hmm.
U2 has something like almost 30 across their career that are like those chart toppers. The Beatles did 25 in 1 year. Come on.
They were. It's amazing how much there was about them back in the 60s when there was no media like there is today. Imagine if it was like wouldn't have happened. I don't know what would have happened in social media back in the Beatles. I don't know.
It would have been an entirely different animal. I don't know. I don't see social media of the 21st century adds an uncontrollable element, because that was part of the Beatles' success is they had Brian Epstein, their manager, who kept them in line and protected them and took care of them. And not many managers are as adept at that as he was then. They're not as good at it as now, right? Because social media makes each talent, each celebrity so unpredictable and gives them a microphone, and you can't control that microphone. Right. You can't control somebody in the middle of the night just opening up a Twitter and saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm over here, and here's what I think about something." You can't, you can't stop them at that point. It's like, oh, okay, they're off and running then.
Yeah, it's definitely such a different time today.
Mm-hmm.
Good and bad. There's good and bad to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting, but yeah, the Beatles.
I'm trying to avoid talking about serious things because we really hit it heavy the last time we were recording.
Yeah, there's just so much going on in the world, but
there is, and there still is.
And I saw a little bit of Disney when I was down, and I was happy.
I'm glad. I know that's your favorite place on the planet.
It was, and I just it's just Disney Springs. It's shopping and restaurants, but it's such a huge. When we were down there, do you remember down to Disney? Went down there. How
back in '97, my last vacation on record. Yes.
Yes, your last vacation on record. Went to Pleasure Island, and
oh my God, that was so much fun there.
They had Pleasure Island in downtown Disney, and it was pretty small.
Right.
They had the store. Now it's huge. Pleasure Island is gone.
Okay.
Do
they still have like a nightclub scene there, or is that just completely?
There's restaurants, and there are some that are more like nightclubs there. So it is it's not its own little district like it was at the time. There's individual places to go to, and like there was people waiting in line to get into one of them, like a House of Blues or something kind of thing. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, but the only thing that's recognizable is this. Do you remember the bridge on the one side of Pleasure Island to go in? there was on one side, I think, where the side of the theater was, there was a bridge. I don't know if you remember it.
I don't. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, but that's like the only part that I can recognize pretty much that's left from Pleasure Island. There's a bridge, because it's hard to redo a bridge because there's water underneath it. But yeah, I mean, I loved being there. I wish I was there. We were there longer. I didn't plan it out well enough. We should have gotten there earlier in the day to just, even though it's all stores, it's just, I just loved being in the Disney environment. And, I love just going into the parks and just people watch. I'm happy to go and, it's just not the whole day, but just go in and sit for a while and just soak in the ambience type of thing, and watch people and just watch what's going on and just be there type of thing. And I like that, just being there. I don't need to do, I'm not big on thrill rides necessarily.
No, me either. I'm definitely not.
I'll ride coasters and I'll do something. I don't do spinning rides. No spinning rides for Dan, unless you want a special surprise at the end. But I mean, I would have been happy to go there earlier in the day and just be there and just wander around and wander through the stores and do whatever. And just, they had a whole bunch of themed Christmas trees up. There was,
oh yeah.
And there was like 17 themed Christmas trees. So I was going around trying to find them, and I found a lot of them, but we got to the end of the day and we had to go. So, but yeah, I mean, they have it's huge. I even forgot about a whole section of it until we found it again. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. But yeah, Disney.
I haven't been there since you and I were there together in 1997 with all of our friends.
It has changed a lot.
Oh, well, that's good to know, because eventually I do want to get down. That's my one big regret, is I never got a chance to get my kids down there. So I'm hoping to have a chance where we can explore it together someday, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I haven't been to Hollywood Studios and seen the Star Wars land. I mean, I haven't seen that at all.
I definitely want to.
I need to walk underneath the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, I do too.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I'm dying to go there and see it. And
was that Galaxy's Edge? Is what they call that spot?
Galaxy's Edge. Yep.
Yeah, that's definitely something on the list of things to do.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm dying to do it though. I was like, I keep on seeing stuff about it and people going there, and it's a dream.
It's a good dream. That's a very good dream,
and it will happen someday.
I trust that.
I just got to figure out the right time for it.
That's the trick shot, isn't it? It's finding the time to do the thing.
Yes, but the thing will be done.
Absolutely,
it will be done. Yep, I did my first run since cancer, so that was good. It went well. You
did a half, right? You didn't do the full marathon.
I did a half marathon, yes.
How'd you feel during it?
I felt actually a lot better than I thought.
Okay.
Because of my bowel problem, I wasn't sure how my bowels would go. That's the problem I have, because there've been some. I mean, just to get a little,
go for the TMI.
More
okay. We're all friends here.
Yep. So, so there's been some runs where the running.
Where you've had the runs.
The running makes a run, because it's just, it just flows. And I was expecting that, and surprisingly, it didn't happen, but I thought it did.
You thought it did.
I thought it did, because I thought I felt something happen. So I waited so I lost 3 or 4 minutes of time just waiting in line for a porta potty, because I thought something happened and nothing had happened. I'm like, oh, that's a pleasant surprise, but I wasted 3 or 4 minutes of that. But
that's good.
Yeah. So, but I was actually pleasantly surprised that my body responded as I wanted it to. And it felt pretty good. I mean, I hadn't trained as much as I needed to, because for some reason I was, doing other stuff over the summer.
You've been busy,
chemo and some stuff like that. And, but it went very well, all things considered. So
glad to hear it.
I was overall happy with it. It was a half marathon. It was a lot less. It's amazing, both of them are long distances, but it's amazing how much more a full marathon puts on your body than a half marathon. It is twice the distance.
Mm-hmm.
you know, but the training is so much more because to do it right, you could do it wrong and not do all the training, and then you're going to kill yourself, and you won't be able to walk afterwards. You know,
Have you ever experienced that, or do you feel like
you're yes. Well, my very first marathon at Disney World. Remember the reason I did my first marathon was because I got this thing from the American Stroke Association that says, we'll train you to run a marathon. You raise money for us. We'll send you to Disney World. And all I saw was, we'll send you to Disney World. You know, and me, who had never been a serious runner before, thought,
it was a sucker trip to Disney World.
Oh
my God! That's great. I absolutely adore that.
But
it makes me so happy to hear that.
It was a good experience, though. So overall, it was. My trainer was Ellen, who's the co-owner of Fleet Feet stores.
Okay.
You know, so they're big. They get bigger all the time, Fleet Feet. So that they had just started their stores at that time. So they would, I think they just opened it recently. And so that was new to them too. So that she was my trainer. Stroke Association. This was like the last year I think they did it. The year I did it. So we had a group of us, and we all worked together. We raised the money that they want us to raise. We did did different events, and on our own we raised a lot of money, and they sent us to Disney World. And we had 16 weeks of training, which sounds like a lot, but if you haven't run before, to do a full marathon is not a lot. So part of the training, I'd done a half marathon before that. It was the Niagara Falls Marathon.
Okay.
So my first longer race was in Canada, but I did that pretty well. So I said, okay, I can do this. But remember what I said before, there's a big difference between a half and a full.
Right.
So the day of the race comes along, Disney races start early in the morning. So early in the morning means you're getting there getting at the race by 4 a.m.
Is it because they're trying to beat the heat in the afternoon, kind of a thing, or?
Well, they don't start till closer to 6. But there's 10, 15,000 people getting together. And at that time, this was before any of these challenges came around. Now you hear about these. Now they have everything is these challenges. You do multiple races like on a weekend. So at that time, the half and the full marathon were still on the same day.
Oh, okay.
So everyone's getting together in one spot in an Epcot parking lot. And, so they start early to get people there, traffic and everything, get everyone settled. And the races do start early to try to interfere the least with the park. So, my race experience. So I get there, everything's great. We do it, we got pumped up, and then we start, we run. And the way they did it was the half and the full marathon. The first half basically was the same route. So you're running with the full marathoners are running with the half marathoners.
Okay.
So, the first half, it goes through Epcot, then it swings up to the Magic Kingdom, and then it goes back by Epcot.
Okay.
It passes Epcot on the way back. So it's a loop upwards to start with. So it's great. You run through the castle, you run down Main Street. Oh, this is great. This is magical. Then you get to about the halfway point, and that's where at that time the half marathoners turned off. You hear all this cheering as they're all finishing, and you're thinking, I'm only half done.
Oh no!
So mentally doing the race that way was very difficult because so a lot of running is mental. So that mental part, hearing them finish, hearing them excitement, and oh my gosh, and so so. That part of the race, you're kind of running in the back lots, and you're kind of like by a water treatment plant, and there's kind of a funny smell around that area. Then you eventually go down through. It was getting light at that point, but eventually you get down to you go through the Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom, and then you get back to Epcot and everything. But this was getting to the point where I was like, okay, I had not trained enough. So that first run took me about 5.5 hours because I had to walk about a lot of the last 10 miles or so. So I stumbled across the finish line at the 5.5 hour mark. I was happy to have finished. And that night they had the Stroke Association had a dinner for all the participants because they had a large number of people there from different areas. And you could tell the difference because they bussed us. A lot of us were staying at, my group was staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Oh, cool!
And yeah, it was really cool. Where the drafts can come into your room, peek into your room kind of thing. But I didn't have one of the cool rooms, but it was still kind of neat having a little safari on your property. But getting on the bus, you could tell the half marathoners from the full marathoners because the full marathoners could not walk. We looked like we looked like very old people, and we looked like we should have all had canes the way we walked.
Oh, no.
One step at a time, getting on the bus, and then you see us getting off the bus. The half marathoners are doing great. They're walking pretty normal, but they're
getting ready to hit the dance floor.
Us full marathoners, we could barely move. You could tell because most of us were not normal runners and everything. And it was like, oh my God. And I thought, when I had crossed that finish line, I said, I am never running again.
And how many marathons later now?
And I kept that vow for about 3 months afterwards. And then I said, let me go for a little run. And now, what is it, 17 full marathons later?
Yeah,
and
17 and a couple of halves here and there.
30 half marathons or something.
And your sister's a distance runner too, or she just does 5Ks?
She goes up to half marathon.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, she got the bug bad. I mean, she does it a lot. She goes all over the place. And she's with the Rochester Road Runners, much with that group, and they're all over the place doing stuff. So yeah, she runs a lot more than I do as far as like races and stuff and groups. And she has her friend, and they always have a beer afterwards. It seems, and
there you go.
Because a beer after a run it tastes better.
I remember when I was at MCC getting my associate's degree out of the way, and they said, you have to have phys ed classes. All right. So I took karate one semester, and a bunch of us would get in the habit of, after our karate class, we'd go across the street to Fridays and have a beer for pain relief.
Because that's what you do.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's how I started running, just sort of because of Disney. And for the next 6 or 7 years after that, I would do a Disney run. So that was in 2000. When did I start? 2005. So this January 2005 was my Disney run. In 2006, I went to Disneyland for the first time.
Okay, that's the California one.
Yep, I did Disneyland half marathon.
Anaheim.
Yes, that was great. I got to see Disneyland. They don't do that run anymore, and then 7, 8, 9, and 10, I went back and did the Disney Marathon. So they started, I think 2007 is when they started the Goofy. That's when they started doing the challenges where they did like the half and the full. Mm-hmm. So half on Saturday, then full on Sunday. Oh God! So that's when they started splitting up the races. I think Disney. I'm not 100% sure if Disney started doing the challenges, but I think they weren't. They were one of the first ones to do that. So you get the half marathon and the full marathon get a special Goofy medal because you got to be goofy to do that. So I thought that's a great thing. I'm going to do that. So I started doing that. So I did that for 7, 8, 9, 10. Now they have the Dopey run, which is, a 5K, 10K, half marathon, and a full marathon.
You got to be dopey to run that. You
have to do 4 days in a row, dopey to get up that early in the morning every single day to go and do these runs. But I want to do it all really badly.
You're a masochist.
But yeah.
Does your family understand that about you, that you are a masochist?
They understand that I like to run for some reason. They don't understand why, but Diana does now, I think. Diana understands.
Well, Diana gets it, yeah.
My Uncle Mike does. My Uncle Mike used to be a runner, but he hurt his knees, and he hasn't been able to run, but he still, and I think his wife still runs, and some of the kids still run. His kids still run, my Uncle Mike.
Is that on your dad's side or your mom's side?
That's my mom. It's my mom's side.
Got it.
I don't know of any other runners in the family, though. It's just on my mom's side. My mom's one of her younger brother's kids. So
we picked up a weirdo.
Yeah, proud of it. So anyway, but it gave me an excuse to go back to Disney every year. So I was happy to take that excuse.
That's amazing. That's fun, though. That's good, because you're doing the thing that way.
I was doing the thing. And then,
That's
like
awesome.
I said, my last run was on January... Where to go? I'm just looking today. On January 10th was the last Disney marathon I ran in 2010. And my oldest child was born January 12th, 2010.
I make no comments. None
Yep.
whatsoever.
Hey, I made it. I got back on the night of January 10th, and she didn't go into labor until January 11th.
January 10th being my son's birthday, by the by. That's amazing.
That was some fun timing there.
I'm so glad you're happy with that.
I had signed up for the race before we knew she was pregnant.
Okay.
Because they signed up really early. And then she found out, and I was like, okay, do I do it or not? Because the due date was later in January.
Gotcha.
So up until like days before, like pretty much a day before, I was questioning, I was like, do I not go and everything? And she had been to the doctor. Everything was fine and everything. And and so I went with, I didn't go in the parks that time. I stayed off property.
Mm-hmm.
I rented a car so I could make a quick getaway. I took precautions, and that was also one of the coldest Disney marathons on record.
Oh yeah,
that's the one where it was on the morning of the marathon. It was like 26 degrees.
Oh dear God!
So for Disney, especially, that was very cold.
I can only imagine.
There was ice warnings at the water stops.
Oh my word!
The day before it was like there was like freezing rain and stuff. So it was not a pleasant running weekend.
Well, just suffice to say, in weather like that, at least NASA would try to launch a shuttle.
That's right. But anyway, so yeah, I still love the running. I mean, it's been hard the past year or so, but I still love getting out and doing it, and I'm glad I still can.
Hey, you are far and away more athletic than I am. Although I've been getting good about being on my rowing machine on a every other day basis so far.
Good.
My knee has not been happy with the idea, so I've been kind of like easing up a little bit. But I've been trying to at least do something every other day.
You got to find something that doesn't, if you got joints that hurt, find something that doesn't bother the joints.
Well, the rower is actually pretty good because it's very smooth. There's not a lot of sudden stops to it at all. It's got
I wanted to look at your rower. I wanted to see what you had.
Next time you come over.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Got distracted by other stuff when I was over this past weekend.
Yes, we were eating our brains out.
Yes.
Thanksgiving to Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's just definitely not as high impact on your joints as other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, do what you can. You got to keep it busy there.
And that's a doing the thing kind of level stuff.
Yeah, we like doing the thing, everybody.
Yep.
Do the thing. Where's
doing the thing.
Ow.
Or ow. Sex. Isn't
that how it works?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I really don't know.
It just sounds kind of weird.
I know that I went from, I used to be excited for very nerdy things, and now I'm excited that I have an air fryer in my house. I've gotten to that age, apparently. I'm excited when I can get out of bed without like a preamble. Do you do that? Like when you get up, you sit up first, and you sit there for a minute. You're like damage report. Like you feel like the FTL drives are spinning up. Everything's coming out, and now you can get up and like walk around.
Not quite. I mean, I used to jump out of bed, but now I just been so tired because I get up multiple times in the night still.
Yeah, I'd still do a couple times a night myself, but I think that's just because I'm 51 at this point.
Yeah, I know. It's just because
infamous old man bladder.
Yay. Bladder and bowels for me, but so I don't always get good sleep. And so yeah, but and so I when I get up, I still get up before my alarm though. I mean,
what's that like?
Well, I mean, so. I still work early hours. I mean, I'm at home. I still work. I start early, and so I I wake up at 4:30 without an alarm.
That ain't right. That ain't right at all.
So I mean, my usually, unless I'm super tired, if I set an alarm, I'll wake up before it. I usually don't hear it go off, so I wake up before it. I'll set it for whatever time, and I'll wake up. If I don't set it, I won't wake up. But if I set it, I'll wake up before the alarm.
That's funny.
Which is a weird thing.
Well, you are a weird thing, so that works out really well.
If I set it for 6, I'll wake up, just before 6, or if I set it for 4:30, I'll wake up before 4:30. And unless I'm super tired or something, it's weird how my body does that, and I don't know why, but if I don't work out though, I feel worse during the day, so I need to get up that early and do my, workout or whatever. If it's in the summer, I'll be running most of that time. If it's the winter, I'll usually be down in the basement and I'll do some, weights and running on the treadmill and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's crazy stuff we do. Keep ourselves physical, keep ourselves healthy.
We used to not have to worry about stuff like that, but we would do it anyway. But now we have to concentrate on doing stuff like that so that we can keep doing things.
So we can do it longer, do everything longer.
There you go. That's what she said. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, man.
Oh, woman.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. I mean, that's part of what it is. You want to keep myself healthy enough where I can keep on doing stuff is what my goal is.
Mm-hmm. Well, always have something to do. You and I have talked about that in the past. My grandfather's old idiom, just always have something to do.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's reading a book or making a sandwich, or just do something.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just sit there and let life go wandering by. Be a part of it somewhere along the line.
Right. Keep yourself active in some respect. Keep your brain active. Keep your body active. Keep doing something. I mean, you look at oh my gosh, my brain is going. Sound of Music. Dick Van Dyke.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he's 98, and he's still.
Is he really?
He's something like that.
Alexa, how old is Dick Van Dyke? 95.
95.
Still, that's damn good. And he's still active.
He's still active. He says he still dances every day. He still does stuff to move. And, Betty White's turning 100 in January.
God bless that national treasure.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be sad when
the inevitable does occur.
Yeah, because unfortunately we don't live forever, even though we want to. But she's done amazing.
Betty White was actually Betty the Grey, and then she defeated the Balrog and came back as Betty White.
Little known Lord of the Rings fact. I have noticed that lately I have either been like missing words. I have saying a lot of things wrong, more than usual. I've been typical of that in the past, but I've been doing it a lot more. Like I'm doing it like if I'm texting you or typing things out, I skip words. I look back. I'm like, I'm missing words. I'm like, how is that? I'm noticing that's happening more, and it's.
Well, if it's any consolation, I still love you.
Okay, good. That helps
when my friend Annette was going through breast cancer, and she was going through all the chemotherapy and whatnot. This is a very smart young woman. I mean, she's a practicing medical doctor at this point, and she called the forgetfulness chemo brain. So I can only imagine that you're probably going through a little bit of that, having been through a few rounds of chemo yourself.
Yeah, but it's been a while, so I thought that'd go away by now. But it's just weird that I keep on catching it. It's like, oh, geez, or typing or putting in the wrong word, or it's like, oh, come on, you can't be going through this already. I guess I have gone through a lot, though, haven't I?
Yes, you have. You really have gone through a lot. You got to give yourself some credit for that. That's a big thing that you've been through. So
yeah. Been fun. It's been fun. It's been an adventure.
Well, there you go. I will call it an adventure.
Adventure. I gotta not use fun. I use fun at work sometimes. And people are like, why are you calling that fun? Well,
because if I don't put that kind of a spin on it, I will go bonkers, and you will not like it.
Pretty much, yeah. Because it's work can get crazy. But
You want me to be using humor, dark humor or otherwise, because if I am not using humor, somebody's going to be in a lot of trouble.
humor is a great medicine, and
It really is.
I mean, I get some, some of the people I work with, and I throw out these comments sometimes, and like this, one of my coworkers, she's like, you make me laugh so much on some of the things you say, and it helps me through my day. And it's like, it helps me by, it helps me not keeping things serious.
There you go.
And it helps. I'm glad it helps you by giving you a smile for the day. I try to be, not rude humor. I try to be just funny humor. It's just, you gotta, yeah. So
I caught a TikTok this morning while I was getting ready for work.
Oh my gosh, are you okay?
Huh?
No.
It was
TikTok. It's not a good disease. Sorry.
Yeah. It was the first couple of minutes of Robin Williams' visit to the Actors Studio with that guy, that professor that did all their interviews of actors.
Yeah, I caught that.
He passed away
last
year.
Too. Yeah.
And it's basically 2 minutes of Robin Williams going completely just bonkers off of rebounding off the crowd like he always does, bouncing off the crowd like he always does. And at one point he sits down and he goes, "So how are you?" Right? And the interviewer, I wish I remember this band's name. Let me inside the Actors Studio. Let me look that up real quick. I know
he has been on my feed so much lately. I don't know why, but he's been like everywhere on my feed, and I'm not complaining.
Right.
But he was such a talent, but it's like so many people that age though, they just all this other stuff going on.
James Lipton. I knew as soon as I saw the name, I knew I was going to remember it. But James Lipton is just sitting there, just watching it and just letting Robin go, not being flustered, not being upset, just enjoying the show and just enjoying the people's reactions to this man, and then finally, Robin just shuts up for like 2 seconds, and James goes, "First question." We're 2 minutes in already, and the crowd just loses it. And then, of course, now Robin is off on another tangent, and there he goes again. And oh god, it was amazing. It's just some of my favorite interviews with him were when Letterman would invite him on. Mm-hmm. And Letterman would always invite Robin Williams onto the set, knowing full well that Dave would not have any control of the show once Robin appeared from backstage.
Did you see the first time Robin was on Johnny Carson?
Yes.
Oh my!
And he was struggling because he just wanted to go bounding around, but he also wanted to behave for Johnny. And then there were times where he would just, that's it, he's off the chain, there he goes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was
no idea what to do with him.
It was just amazing. And Robin was the person you invite in for an interview, and then you just sit back and he does all the work pretty much. And
you didn't do any pre-show. You have no prep. You have no skits. You have no nothing. The music is just going to play spontaneously. Okay, cool. Bring Robin in. I've got no monologue. Just bring Robin in.
Mm-hmm. And one of my favorite shows, is Whose Line Is It Anyway? And
oh God, that's hilarious. They've had some great clips lately.
Have you seen Did you see the one with Robin Williams on it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. The only one that's possibly funnier is the one with Richard Simmons on it.
Oh my God! Because it's just you have no idea what he's going to do. Because he has no idea what he's doing.
If you haven't seen the one with Richard Simmons, you got to watch that one too. But those are probably two of the funniest episodes of that show with Robin Williams and Richard Simmons. And the two separate episodes, of course. But when they were on the shows, oh my gosh, it was just two crazy individuals that. Oh, I mean, it was. I was dying during those.
Yeah, Richard Simmons is just flat out insane. There's no kind way to say it. The man is just nuts.
Yeah,
in such a wonderful way, but nuts nonetheless.
He's a happy individual.
He really is.
He was just he had his thing, and he did his thing. Mm-hmm. And whoever naysayers be whatever, he did his thing, and you gotta.
You're saying that past tense. Did he die and I didn't notice?
Actually, I have no idea. I don't think he did. But. Let me see. I haven't heard anything about him lately.
I was going to say that. I'm sure the people would have noticed that one.
No, he's still alive. He's 73.
Good for him. He's probably in excellent shape.
Milton Teagle.
Is that his real name?
Milton Teagle Richard Simmons.
That's funny.
Best known for his eccentric, flamboyant, and energetic personality. Yes, he was very, very energetic and flamboyant. He is
Flamboyant, yeah. He puts the fire in flaming.
I think I say was. I haven't seen him in a while, but I think, but yeah, but I'm seeing it. Yeah, he was definitely a personality that you would never forget. But yeah, so oh boy, so much crazy stuff. So did we keep this light enough for you this time, Chris?
Yeah, no, we did good. You could have gone heavy with me. I would have taken you there. It's fine. I just know that sometimes we need to throttle back and just remember to laugh once in a while, too. Talk about fun things.
Yeah, well, maybe next time we get into all the heavy, crazy stuff that's going on in the world.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, I'm sure.
Gosh, yeah, I'm glad it's almost an hour in because we don't have time to talk about it. But
I'm not going to bring in, I could just say Texas for God's sake, and that'd give us an hour's worth of material right there.
Texas, or what's going on in the Supreme Court, or gun laws, or whatever. And
you have a large chunk of the government that's trying to turn us into the handmaiden's tale, and another half of the chunk of the government that wants to stop that but doesn't have enough of a spine to do it. They can put their foot down and have this over with in a very quick step, but no, they can't do it.
They're all
that's as heavy as we're going to get this week.
Yeah, they're too caught up in themselves. And term limits. Go back to term limits.
Term limits, finance reform.
Yep, I've been seeing that popping up in both of those popping up in different, well, especially finance reform. I've seen that popped up in a bunch of different places that I've been reading.
So dear listener, our friends out there who are listening to us right now, this episode 14, a little bit, for the most part, substance free. But if you think about it, we've been kind of just keeping it light, giving you some fun stories, talking a little bit about Dan's marathon running, how to appreciate Disney, how to appreciate staying active, things like that. Some fun stuff to giggle about.
How important humor is. And
just
to laugh.
It's okay to be serious about life. It's okay to be serious about the issues that are important to us, but don't forget to stop and say, I'm going to take a break.
Right. Take a break.
It was a few weeks ago for me that I was talking with a few of the guys that I play D&D with on a regular basis, and one guy was on vacation. Oh, I'm planning a vacation for a couple months, and then somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I had a vacation a couple of weeks ago." And I sat and I thought about it, and I've done several staycations over the past couple of years. I'll burn vacation time to stay home and do projects around the house, do yard work, paint a room, sleep in, whatever. But I'm thinking about all the times that I've gone out of town just in the 21st century so far. And I went to Florida twice. Oh, well, they're for weddings. And I was busy. And, one of the weddings I performed, and, I had to take my ex-wife around, she'd be able to take care of things. I was helping her with stuff, and then there was time we went down for, oh, nope, that was a business trip. Oh, nope, that was a business trip also. Oh, I went to Toronto, but then I turned around and headed right back home. I went to Ottawa to visit family, but that was 2 days and I went back. I couldn't wrap my brain around it. And I kept looking and kept looking and kept thinking back. And I realized that the last time I went on an honest to God vacation was when I was with you and our gang at Disney in 1997. That was my last vacation, my honest to God, genuine, like, I'm going away, I'm going to sleep, I'm going to eat, I'm going to do everything non-scheduled. I'm just going to go and have fun. 1997. Some of the people listening to this podcast weren't even born in 1997.
Oh, stop that.
Like, oh my God. So that was it. And I knew I had some money that I'd saved up for some house projects, but I'm putting those on hold because, it's time to do a little self-care action.
We need to take care of you.
Yep.
And especially...
And I am terrible at self-care. I am awful at it. I have to come to terms with that. And so
I need you around for at least another 40, 50 years here, Chris.
That's it, man. I'm not going anywhere, dude.
So you got to do that self-care.
So I'm going to go on a road trip with my dog. And we're going to drive south this spring, and I found this cute little cottage right on the water in North Carolina, and it's going to be fun.
Awesome.
I'm going to take my laptop and my car with me, and I'm going to visit people along the way on the way down. I got a couple of people lined up, like in Pennsylvania and Virginia, that I'm going to stop by and visit, folks that I've known from my gaming days and whatnot. So that'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Definitely.
And that'll be this spring, coming to a place near you.
Actually, no, it won't be.
Ha-ha! Fair enough. But I think for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to nuke these pizza pockets because you know what? My first run with the air fryer, not impressed.
No, maybe
I got to find the right thing. I think pizza pockets for a maiden run of an air fryer probably was not the exact thing I should have been doing. So
maybe, but you got to play around with it, try different things, see what works best and everything.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. I'll be playing with that a little bit because I love my kitchen gadgets.
Yeah.
How was dinner the other night? Did you like it? How'd I do?
It was good. The food is all good, so yeah.
And Ann and Tanya helped out big time. Brian brought some stuff. Dee brought those green beans that were wrapped in bacon. Mm-hmm. Those were amazing.
I mean, bacon.
Bacon.
You can't go wrong honestly. Right there. But I love green
seriously.
beans too. So that was a perfect match for me.
Everything's better with bacon.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we got to do that more often. Get the board together and just chill.
Do something, yeah.
We talked about business for all of 2 minutes the entire evening, and I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, except for getting into the point where we're going to talk more business. So,
right, but you know what? Once in a while, not talking about business is good for us.
Or have more of a balance.
Right.
If we have a meal first without talking, and then talk about it afterwards, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
So, and we talked about bringing in our little monkeys or whatever.
Yeah, the junior board, the steering committee.
So I want to get them more involved and just expand our reach here and do more things.
Yes.
So, awesome.
I like doing more things.
So do I.
All right, my brother. I'm going to let you go.
Don't let me go.
I'm not going to let you go, Jack.
All right.
We
will end this podcast
for now at the 1 hour and 49-second mark.
We shall return. Hopefully,
yes, we shall.
Hopefully not in a month later, like we have been.
Yeah, I know. We'll be a little more regular at it. But hey, this was episode 14. That's beautiful.
14. We're getting there.
Yeah. And I have been looking into some of the things we've talked about in the past, so we can have maybe bring a guest in and have some conversation and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I also, you know what I want to do is I want to find a friend of ours who is gender fluid and can explain some of this to me, because I want to be a good ally.
Yeah.
I want to be a good ally. I really do. And I can be very accepting. So if somebody says, these are my pronouns, okay, cool. I'm going to do my best. And if I make a mistake, just bear with me and I will do what I can to respect you. And I promise to work hard at that. But there's certain nuances to pronouns and approach and orientation and whatnot that I just don't get. And it's hard for me and I want to understand so that I can be better at being an ally. So I'm hoping to find somebody we can talk to about that. And then we had
say it's the right way, but we got to find someone who's not uptight about it.
Yeah, no, I know a couple of people who are genuinely, you don't want to cross that bridge with them because they're just going to think that you're trying to insult them. Right. But I know a couple of people who are just like, I will be happy to talk about it. And I'm going to strike up conversations with them.
Awesome. Definitely.
So that we can do that.
I would love to talk about it more with somebody. Yes.
Yeah. And then a couple episodes ago, we were talking about Native Americans and their cultural outlook on generationals and generational development and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to find somebody who we can have a great conversation with. I would love to learn.
Yes.
So.
We are all about learning. You're never too young to learn. Never too old to learn. I'm sorry, never too old to learn. Boy, I am. Yeah.
You need a nap.
I need something.
You need a beer and a nap. Or a glass of wine and a nap.
Yeah. All right.
Or maybe just a nap. So.
With that being said, we bid you all adieu.
I love you, man. It's great to talk to you.
Too.
I will talk to you real soon.
All right.
All right. Ciao, ciao.